So it's important to know how to deal with characters and strings. You know, most of the data are in the form of strings, right? So we need to know how to handle strings, how to process the strings, to know what is inside each string, and much more. But let's start with character data type. The character data type is a placeholder for one character, only one character. You can save one letter, one character in the variable of type character. So look at this. The data type here, char, not a full word, char, char, C-H-A-R, that's it. And the variable name here in this example is letter. So letter is a variable of type chart. And here I am saving just the letter A. And look at this. Here we have single quotation. You see here, single, it's not the double quotation, single quotation. If you have single quotation, this is an indication that this is a letter, one letter and only one. If you switch this with double quotation, this is another story that we will be talking about, and this is wrong here in this example, wrong in this example. So because it's a character, we need a single quotation. For here is a character as well, will not be considered as number. For you cannot process this as a number unless you convert it to an integer, but this will be considered the character 4. Okay, it's not the number 4. So let me show you some examples here. Comment those. And here, let's start by declaring a variable. Let's say char equals grade equals to your grade, let's say A. Okay. This is correct, acceptable. If you do this again, grade 2, and let's say, let's do it B. Look at this. This is wrong. Why? Because we use double quotation. So this is not a character. This is a string, but you are saving it in a character. So mismatch. So remember that the character has single quotation, whereas the string has double quotation. So let me show you string. If I want to declare a variable of type string, it's a reserved word. So class 1, class is a reserved word. So I will say class 1 is the variable of type string, and I am initializing it to A. Even if this has just one letter, but this will considered as a string because first we have double quotation, and the main difference between this line and this line, okay, is that the first one at the top is a letter, one letter, and only one letter will be saved in the grade. Whereas here with the string, yes, we can see just one letter, but there is another letter behind the scenes, which is the null value. The null value is an indicator that can be used by the compiler to tell where is the end of the string. Okay, so you will not add it by yourself. This will be added by the compiler. So that's why we need to distinguish between a character and a string. So let's work with the characters. Now, let me show you here this table. Okay, so this is the ASCII code set. For each key in your keyboard, there is a code for it. Okay, so let's say we want to see what is the ASCII code for the letter A, upper letter A. You see here, this is the upper letter A. The ASCII code is 6 and here 5. You see the intersection of the row and the column. So the ASCII code for A is 65. The ASCII code for B is 66, and we'll keep going. 67 for C, 68 for D, and so on. These for upper letters. If I go down to the lowercase a, it has a different ASCII code, which is 97. You see here, 97. So that's why the computer can distinguish between upper letter case and lower letter case, okay? Or upper letter and lower letter. So it's based on the ASCII code, and this can be used in your programs to tell if the user entered something in uppercase or in a lowercase. You can check the ASCII code, or there are other methods that can be used to check for you. Okay, so if I say the ASCII code 98, what is the character for the ASCII code 98? Asking you to memorize this for shorts, okay? Instead of memorizing and knowing all of these details, this will help you a lot in the future, guys. Small numbers, just memorize them, will help you a lot to solve problems. So 0 to 9, the numbers or the characters, I mean, characters from 0 to 9 has the ASCII code from 48 to 57. So the ASCII code for 0 is 48, for 1, 49, and so on. So you can say anything else is a special character, let's say, okay? Or another things that you don't want to consider maybe in your input or your program. Let's say we have this grade, which set to A, and I'm about to print the grade. So here we'll see the results as A. I can see the ASCII code as well. Look at this ASCII code. Just cast it to integer, convert the grade into integer, and you can see what is the ASCII code. Okay, you can do this. Got it? If we replace this with any, let's say a lower letter A, then print, you see that? It's matching the table that I showed you, the same numbers. Okay, so it depends how you want to work with the numbers or digits. I can do this, let's say, you see? So you can use either the character or its ASCII code. You can set the grade to 97, but because this is of type character, then when you print the grade, it will print the actual character. Okay, so you can go back and forth, and you can see the ASCII code or the letter itself. So now, how about doing this? Plus grade. Increment the grade by 1. And let's do here upper letter A. What do you think the output will be? Okay, because here we set it to A, as Beck said, it's 65. And when we increment the character by 1, it's 68. But because this is a character, then we will see the character B. If you do 65, we'll see the B as well, because we didn't cast it. The difference between this example and the previous example, I didn't use here the int. So the int here to cast it, to convert it to the integer to see the number. But here I did without the int, so I will get the grade, which is a character, okay? Regardless of how you initialize it. So now, how about this? You remember? Let's refresh your memory about the pre-increment and post-increment for the variable grade. Okay, we have a variable grade and I am doing post-increment. So what do you think what I will see here, A or B? So let me get this back to A. What do you think the output will be, A or B? Good job. A, yes. So what is the current value of grade in the memory after executing this statement? It's B. That's right. You can print it again here and just say grade. It's B. This is what's in the memory. So here we have the variable. We want to increment this variable by. So the variable grade, which is a character, okay? I want to print it and then to increment that variable by 1. So the compiler will do what? The compiler will print the grade and then will increment the grade by 1. Initially, the grade is A, so that's why I see the A. And then when we finish printing, the next step is to increment the grade by 1. So the grade now is 66. So what is 66? 66 is B, the ASCII code of B. And this is before we increment the value, and this is after we incremented the value. That's why we see the B here. Let me show you what is going behind the scenes in the memory. So grade, we process this line 13, and the grade now has the value A. You see that? Now the pointer, the compiler is in the second line, pointing to this line to be executed. You see the green line? You see the pointer here? And after executing this line, look at this. The grade in the memory now is B. So this is how it's worked behind the scenes. I'll show you in the future how to use this debugger and how to work with the debugger to help you to analyze, to understand your program. Okay, so I showed you what is going behind the scenes, what is in the memory after each statement, after executing each statement. Let's move next, and let me introduce you to some new features that you can work with. So we have a class named character, like the class math. You remember the class math we just worked with? There is another class called the full word character. It's not the same as the one we declared in line 13. That char is a data type, and this character is a class that has many functions and many methods, okay, that we can use here. Is digits. You see this one? This is a method that we can work with. Character is the name of the class, dot the method name is digit. I am checking, is this variable has a digit in it or not? So let's see the output. Let me print and let's see what is this. So is this a digit? No, it's a letter. So it should be false, right? And it is false. That means it's not a letter, it's not a digit. So let me replace this with number 5. So this is the character 5. Is this a digit? The answer is yes, is a digit. Okay, so this is how to tell if the user input or if the variable grade is a digit or is not. So remember, we have a class named character and a method in this class named isDigit that is returning either true or false. True if it is a digit and false if it is not. We have more. And remember here, characters start with upper letter C. Okay, so pay attention to this. Character is letter. Is this a letter? Let me print the results, and this the results will be either true or false. Is the grade letter or not? So if I run it, so here it's not a letter, it is a digit. So let me comment this to focus on just this line. So we have just this line, grade equals to the character 5. And here I am saying, is the grade a letter? The answer is false. It's not a letter. It's false. Now let me switch it to, let's say, C. Is it a letter? Yes, it is. So if you want to check, you can use this with the if statement, and you can say character dot is letter. If it is a letter, then we can say correct input. Okay, so we can do this. We can use the method is letter with any of other with with an if statement, or to print it out, or whatever you want to do with it. So here is it correct input, assuming that we want the grade to be either A, B, C, D, E, or F, let's say, or anything we want. Okay. We can do more with the character class that has many other methods. So please try all. It's a long list. Try most of them. So let's see something else. Okay, is lowercase. This is a nice one. Is this a lowercase letter or uppercase letter? You see here, I can check, is it lowercase or not? So I can say like this, lowercase, just a message. And here, is it a lowercase? False. No, it's uppercase. If I switch it to lowercase c and run it, is it lowercase? Yes, it is true. You see here. So you can check if the user enter lowercase or uppercase. We have a similar method here. Instead of saying lowercase, I can say is uppercase. You see here, is it uppercase or not? So run. Is it lowercase? Yes. Is it uppercase? No, false. Okay, you can see this. Another example. Two upper. Here, look at this. And let me show you what's the difference between two upper and is upper. Two upper and is upper. So let me print this. And remember, we have small letter c, right? So here is the output of this statement number 21. It's converting the character into uppercase. So let me give you another one. Let's say A small, run, I get the A capital letter. See that? So I can use the two uppercase to switch the variable grade into uppercase. And I have the same thing to move it or to convert it to lowercase by using the method to lowercase. Okay, so these are some of the methods that you can take advantage of to work with the characters and to do some evaluations or calculations or whatever you want to do.